Scarcely any little autos are as unremarkable as the Nissan Sentra. In spite of the fact that agreeable and ample, its dealing with is shoddy, the inside is exposed, and the base model is greatly moderate. The most reduced yield rendition has only 124 drive and accompanies a fun-sapping CVT. The SR Turbo at any rate tends to the power issue with the consideration of a turbocharged 1.6-liter motor with 188 drive and 177 pound-feet of torque. Yet, it didn't shield this editorial manager from picking the Sentra SR Turbo as his minimum most loved auto of 2016. All things considered, a NISMO variation was en route. Despite everything, we clutched a little expectation that possibly, quite possibly, Nissan's in-house execution division could make the little car pleasant. Furthermore, now that we at last got the opportunity to drive one, we have an answer: it's as yet not great. Truth be told, with the CVT, it's quite awful. Where the NISMO truly separates itself from the SR Turbo is with the suspension. The NISMO has firmer springs and dampers, and sits simply under a large portion of an inch lower than its ordinary kin. The outcome is a Sentra that alternates with considerably less body roll. Be that as it may, again on account of the NISMO's interesting suspension, it has an especially firm, verging on brutal, ride. It was sufficiently terrible that one of our editors said he would incline toward a typical SR Turbo to recover that cruising solace. The directing is refreshed also, and the weight feels genuinely decent. Lamentably, despite everything, it needs criticism, and it isn't as exact as we might want in an execution auto. The Sentra NISMO styling is additionally a blended pack. Outwardly, the little Nissan gets some more visual fervor as more forceful front and back guards, profound side skirts, a lip spoiler, and new wheels. The lower bodywork highlights red accents. Try not to stress over conflicting hues, however, since the NISMO is just accessible in white, silver, dull silver, and dark. A few of us in the workplace observe the new appear to be somewhat nice looking, especially in the darker shades. Be that as it may, others locate the new side skirts and guards add undesirable visual mass to an effectively tall and chunk-sided vehicle. Indeed, Nissan sent us its sportiest Sentra outfitted with a CVT. We have no clue why, since this transmission shouldn't be any place almost an execution auto. It might be satisfactory for a lower trim model, yet it sucks out whatever life the 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-chamber has. Tangling the gas is met with the inclination that something is slipping, and that you're not getting energy to the ground. Placing it into manual mode doesn't help either, since the preset proportions aren't settled. Rather, the transmission can at present alter its pulleys as it sees fit, so despite everything you get an odd elastic band feeling. Long story short, it influences the auto to feel slower, and makes it difficult to tell what the auto is doing. Both huge no-nos in the execution auto world. It's a genuine disgrace, as well, since the motor really isn't too awful. It's not the most responsive turbo motor out there, on account of how the CVT misrepresents the slack in throttle reaction. However, once it makes support, it pulls with some zeal. We're certain that the accessible manual transmission would make it more pleasant. Sadly, even with a manual, the NISMO would in any case just be working with an indistinguishable 188 strength from its lesser SR Turbo partner. To be considered important as a game minimal, Nissan needs to give the Sentra NISMO more power. Nissan needs to give the little vehicle a constrained slip differential, as well. Indeed, even with only 188 torque, it's anything but difficult to get the NISMO's inside front wheel turning by giving it gas in a tight corner. Including more power without tending to this would make the Sentra infuriating to drive. The last issue with the Sentra NISMO is that it's overrated. It begins at $25,855, and for comparative cash, you could have a much more charming and capable Volkswagen GDI or Ford Focus ST. The GDI is somewhat less than $600 more, and the Focus ST is about $200 less. Or on the other hand, on the off chance that you needed to spare some cash, the also capable Honda Civic Sport hatchback can be had for about $3,700 less at $22,175. What's more, not at all like the NISMO, that auto is truly fun. At last, the Sentra NISMO falls flat since it depends on a maturing suburbanite stage that exceeds expectations just at having space and a moderately agreeable ride, and the NISMO trim doesn't do what's necessary to conquer those issues intrinsic to the Sentra stage. It doesn't include power, and picks up in taking care of forfeit one of the Sentra's couple of solid focuses. Maybe if a future Sentra NISMO in light of a totally new stage shows up, Nissan will have a genuine contender. However, until at that point, the current NISMO is excessively cash for too little auto.